Our next speaker is Ray Mcphee. Ray is the quintessential servant leader. Outside of Toastmasters, Ray is passionate about volunteering and working with special needs children and teens. Now, within Toastmasters, Ray has been a member of MVP for 7 months out of his 2-year Toastmasters career. Isn't that amazing? And within Toastmasters, Ray is currently serving as an area director. He has also served as our division contest chair and has recently coordinated a youth leadership project. So you can see how he inspires the next generation. In his speech tonight, he wants us to understand the importance of maintaining our personal integrity. Please help me welcome Ray Mcphee to the stage. Who is responsible? Who is responsible? Ray Mcphee.
Thank you. The paint on the wall doesn't even match. The kitchen cupboards are not even at the right height. They're not even touching the back of the wall. And don't even get me started on the drywall that isn't even attached to the stairwell. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, I want to discuss with you the situation that I was faced with while building a house in 2003. I was dealing with a builder that didn't seem to care. So whose responsibility is it to make sure that the house that I'm paying for is in good standing? Whose responsibility is it? As I did the walkthrough, we found all kinds of deficiencies within this house. I couldn't believe it. It was my first experience for it, but I could not believe how many there were and how disappointing it was. And I'm not going to mention to you which builder it was. Cardell. In one day, if you can imagine for a second, I had 8 contractors coming in to fix the deficiencies. 8 of them. And this is why I want to talk to you today about integrity and responsibility. Integrity, by definition, is doing the right things when nobody's looking. Responsibility, being accountable for your actions. I would say that was a deficiency in itself. 8 contractors in my house, all trying to tell me the cupboards are supposed to be like this. The paint's going to blend in. You just got to give it 2 weeks to dry. Well, as a matter of fact, I consider myself kind of a jack of all trades. I designed kitchen cabinets for Canac Kitchens in Toronto. I happen to know that's not the way it was. I mixed paint for an automotive supplier in Toronto. I know it doesn't take 2 weeks to cure. I'd had enough of people all trying to, and don't even get me started on the electrical. I took my frustration to an end. And I told all these contractors, I said, you know what, you need to get out of my house right now. They all left. I think happily, but they all left. And as I was walking around on the main level, I guess I'd forgotten about the guy who was there to cut the railing that was 2 feet longer than the stairwell. 2 feet longer, can you imagine? I think he was a little afraid to come downstairs at that point. Anyway, as he came down, I let him finish his portion of the deficiency, and we got to chatting, and he had made the mistake of saying to me, you know what? People are paying $300,000 for a home nowadays. They think they're getting a castle. as I was walking towards the dining room section, I turned and I looked at him and I ran over to him and I grabbed him by his jacket and I shook him. Well, at least that's what I thought about in my head. And I said, John, is it? Let me explain something to you. Regardless of price, this is my castle. This is where I bring my family, my children. My wife and I come home every single day. We create memories here. This is our castle. And let me ask you something. If you were to drop down in the middle of the floor right now, and there's just the two of us here, do you know what I do for a living? I help save lives. As a security professional in my career, over 30 years, I've saved many lives. My integrity is to do the very best job I can to help you save your life. If I don't, and I took the same attitude as every contractor that was in my house today, you'd at least want me to dial 911. No, wait a minute. 911. No, that's not it. You'd want me to know who to call. You'd want me to be able to perform proper CPR on you. 1, 2, 3. Shh. Quiet. You're making me lose count. Here, 1 second. So, when John actually started to understand what it was that I was talking about, he put his head down. I could see the remorse in his eyes. He understood what I was talking about. I told him about first responders. You expect every first responder to come to your aid. Fire department, ambulance, doctors, to be able to do the very best that they can for you. Why should anybody else settle for less from you guys? And he put his head up and he shook and he said, you're right. And I apologize for my statement. And I said, that's okay. It's awareness. We may not always make the right decisions. That's a given. But we can be responsible and take accountability for what we do. And for me, that is integrity. I'm Toastmaster.